guys, and welcome back to the third part of the Pokemon series where we talk about all the main titles that came since the first generation up to the newest one with Sword and Shield. In the last parts we covered the first three generations and the first ever remake with Leaf Green and Fire Red. And this brings us to the fourth generation, and with that, the generation which also came with a new console, the Nintendo DS, which was a big game changer since the Advance didn't sold that many uh, times as the Game Boy, but the Nintendo DS made it by far more sales than the Game Boy itself, and not to speak with the Advance, and is still the one of the best-selling consoles ever. And this means a bigger audience and a new start with Pokemon. And by that we are talking uh, for the fourth generation with Pokemon Pearl, Diamond, and Platinum. So Pearl and Diamond um, brought a new way of gaming in Pokemon. Since the first three generations didn't have the internet connectivity, since whether the Game Boy or the Game Boy Advance didn't have like um, a VLAN function. This was changed with the third generation, since the DS was able to have an internet connectivity. Um, and this make this whole trading brought to a whole different level, right? So you had the first Pokemon game with online functionalities, uh, which was a big, major new point, new improvement. I guess this was also a first of proving that this work and how it can look like, because the fact that it didn't had so much new changes with Pearl and Diamond since the third generation, because I think they put the most research in the internet possibilities that this new era brought, which they used really good, I have to say. Um, so you start again, this time within the Sinnoh region. I have to say, for all generations, beside the second one, the third generation was by far my most favorite one, since it gave, they put also a lot of effort into the Pokemon origin history, since everything in this generation they talked about the creation of the Earth with Pokemon itself. Um, this brought a bit more depth into the whole Pokemon universe, which I find cool. Um, but this brought a new problem with it, and this is the sheer amount of the legendary Pokemons that came with this whole generations. I mean, you had a lot of new Pokemons, of new legendaries, which completely, I guess, changed the form how the Pokemon Company or Game Freak dealt with legendaries. Um, because there were only a handful of legendaries. I mean, yeah, Ruby and Sapphire already pushed the limits with, let me recalculate, two of the major one, Ruby and two mystery. I mean, you already had 8 legendaries, and this was just, they filled the dozen easily with the third generation. This is also the point where I didn't like the form of legendary in the Pokemon journey itself, because there were just too many of them. It took the word legendary really out of the perspective. Yeah, but there's that issue. What you have to give that is the fixing of the last generation. So Pearl and Diamond brought a lot of new evolutions for the really needed second generation, for example, since the second gen was just so weak in comparison to the other ones that they really had to bring more effort and fix that in the third generation, which was helpful, made the Pokemon more usable. Because since then, I guess the second gen Pokemon wasn't really favorized by the player itself. And yeah, they brought a new effort or a new way that they should keep playing them and gave them new possibilities, which was cool. I have to say that and give that. And I think that's all. And they brought a huge amount of new Pokemons since they have to develop new one and also made a big fix for the first and second generation Pokemons, mostly the second generations. And yeah, I mean, I have to say this. I think the first generation was the line which I liked the most for the Pokemon. Speaking of the Pokemon designs, um, because yeah, they worked on the first. I think because they worked so much on the evolution of the second generation, they really brought this style back again for the third one. And yeah, you can see it by the spirits. I guess they're really good. Um, Also, after that, your games were still really static. The whole battle journey, from animations, starting with Crystal, didn't change at all. So you have still some a little bit animation, but that's it. Else then your Pokemon are still static. Um, And yeah, what a lot of people expect from DS line is first of all again to visit also a new region, since you have a lot of more space, more capacity with the third with the DS title. But as I spoke about it already last time, we will don't see it again um, for a long for a time. I mean, yeah, we can obviously say this was changed with the remakes for Gold and Silver, but since they are remakes, I wouldn't count it as a way that they introduced going back to a new region. So therefore, again, we will not see any other region beside of Sinnoh. Um, but what they put is basically a new complete underground. That was so great. So you had this underground which is connected, which you can hook up with your friends that also have this generation, fourth generation, and you can meet in the underground, build tunnels together, make um, create bases, and have some smaller mini games. It was really cool having that. It brought so much more interactivity, since the only way of interaction possibilities was to fight and to trade. And now you had this whole underworld where you could see the other players running around, talk to them, also having mini games, and they could visit your hideouts, your bases in the underground, which is really cool. And yeah, but that's most it from the innovative part. What we can also talk about is the fact of the Wi-Fi possibility now. So trading is now online possible. You still needed to have like friends code of the other person, and you could change then during the internet. So a lot of that was a time where the most Pokemon forums built up. You could meet each other in forum, change your friends code, and then you could trade with people far away. That brought the possibility that you now could more easily than back then, fill your Pokédex. And yeah, it's a function that is really needed, because before that it was extremely difficult to have a filled Pokédex. I mean, honestly speaking, it's not even most of the time not of people even were possible to fill the Pokédex, since the mysteries and legendary Pokémons were Nintendo Zone exclusive distributions. Therefore, you didn't have a lot of chance. Um, yeah, so I mean, since the Pokemon's design was super cool, the issue with the second generation that they brought to the third generation to fix the weak Pokemons here. Also, the way how they had this first hands-on of this internet possibility that they used good. I really have to give Pearl, Diamond, and Platinum and solid A tier. I would even go that far and give. No, just leave that to A. I think Platinum didn't change that much to say that it deserves an S tier. Since also, again, the Battle Zone, which was so good in Emerald, didn't brought back. That's a bummer. So you really didn't have too much post-game possibilities. But competitive playing wise, it really improved in sense of fixing all the Pokemons and giving a whole new variation of Pokemons itself with the third one, so that your amount of Pokemons now 493, I think so, yeah. And yeah, and then we have a special episode, I guess, where we can talk about the reboots. I think since they brought so many new intros and they are so state of the art until now, how a reboot should function, should work and look like, and it's a Pokemon game that most people really want to have that they got. I think we should bring that to a whole new part with it and talk only about the reboots itself. Therefore, I guess we can stop the pod now. Thanks for joining in today, and we'll see you in the next part of the Pokemon journey. So stay tuned, and we will talk about Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Bye, have a great day.